Welcome to Shiny Jets Podcast. I'm your host, CEO of Shiny Jets, Brett Berry. I hope you're flying shiny, and if not, you're definitely in the right place. So let's talk about flying shiny, okay? All right, let's get started. So the purpose of our first podcast is to give you a little background on me, Brett, the owner of Shiny Jets. So I have Travis right here with me, Travis Mcnutt. He's not an aviation detailer. He's a detailer. He teaches people paint correction. He travels the country doing trainings, detailing, making awesome content, and he's helped me out with all of my trainings except for one. And I thought, our top trainer, who better to have on the podcast on the first Shiny Jets podcast than Travis?
Well, thank you very much, Brett, and thank you for the warm introduction. And really, this first podcast, it's going to be followed up by another podcast with me and Brett, but the first podcast was about Brett. And I just wanted to be here to have a casual conversation with him about who he is, where he's from, and why, we should all be interested in what he has to say about aviation detailing. So that's more my role here in the very first podcast of Shiny Jets with Brett, is just to help you guys understand who Brett is, where he came from, why he's doing this. So Brett, as if you're not already influential on me like you are, if you are trying to impose yourself on me in a very friendly way, tell me about yourself. As far as who are you? Like, who is Brett Berry? How did you get into aviation detailing, and why here and now is it relevant?
I'm going to start back way a long time ago, back in school, back in, high school. So I just got sick and tired of being graded by teachers telling me I was like a B or a C, and I felt like I was an A, and I just didn't really like people telling me what I was capable of, because essentially these teachers are grading you and giving you the grades that could give you the potential to go to a better college, this and that. And it didn't really appeal to me. I'm like, well, they don't know me, So it kind of always inspired me to have my own business. And so
you knew from a young age that you wanted to have your own business?
Well, yeah, you would look in the parking lot at our school. In my high school, I went to like a upper, nicer high school. I came from a middle class family.
You grew up in California?
Yeah, I grew up in California, San Diego, California. And so all the kids that parents owned businesses, they all drove the nicest cars. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I don't want to drive a jalopy. So.
Did you even understand at that point what it took to drive that car?
No.
Anyway, you just knew you wanted it. That's it. I'll get at you.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So, fast forward, I 2 weeks after I got out of high school, I went to Alaska, commercial salmon fish, came back, bought a semi truck, started my own trucking company, and lost everything. I made like $98,000 my first year, and had nothing to show for it.
How much did it cost you to make $98,000?
$98,000.
But I've always thought that would potentially be a legitimate business, starting
trucking.
Logistics, transportation. I know there's a lot of ways to go about it, but
yeah,
what do you feel like didn't come together for it to be successful for you?
I was young, so my insurance was high. Mm-hmm. And then fuel prices at the time were extremely high. I was working every day. Mm-hmm. I didn't have the right jobs,
Gotcha.
paying. So, fast forward, got a job and hated being told when to be there, how much I was worth. That kind of trickled back to the being graded back in high school. It didn't really settle well with me. And so I got into detailing after work. And
How old were you then?
oh gosh, I was in my early 20s. I was 22.
What was work?
I was operating heavy equipment.
Okay.
Yeah. And the guys I would detail my own truck, and they'd be like, dang, I've never seen a red truck look like that.
Red's my favorite color.
Is it?
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, so I just couldn't deal with it. And so I quit my job and started detailing full time, and was detailing cars, semis, a few yachts here and there for a few customers that had yachts. And then I started doing aircraft and decided back in 2007, since I worked in grading, I'm always looking at indicators in different industries on what I think the economy is going to do. And a good indicator for me is when the developers that build homes, track homes and stuff like that, when they stop moving dirt, which is what I used to do, grade house pads and streets and whatnot. When they stop moving dirt, things are slowing down. So I started seeing the signs on the wall from my old bosses, just chit-chatting with them. And so I was like, who's still going to have money? And guys with jets are still going to have money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they didn't get there for burning money. Well, some of them did. I mean, I've come into the hangar the next day at 8 a.m. after detailing till 1 at night, and the FBI had a jet taped off that I just detailed. And I was like, you guys aren't going to find any fingerprints in there. But
and apples to apples, I mean, there's a lot of aircraft in the sky, and there's not a lot of people that are professionally certified and capable to clean them, that know enough about them to clean them. And so maybe even in a down market, it's a good industry to be in because it's unoccupied.
The path of entry for auto detailers that create phenomenal results is definitely great. So
sweet.
I had some tough times, and divorce and this and that, and it really.
Is this all still in California?
Yeah. And
so this has kind of been your home base. I'll say that's one thing that does. Maybe not that you've spent your life cultivating these relationships, but it is nice to know a geographical area, especially if it's a highly populated area. If it's in a suburban area, that's a little different. But if it's a highly populated area, if you know the area, kind of like, at least whenever you move into your industry, you have an idea of how it segregates. I don't know, random thought. Anyways, so.
No, you're absolutely right. You need to I didn't. I was here.
The area was good to you.
Yeah, the area is good to me. If you do have the chance that you're looking to move somewhere and you're looking to get into this, I think it's definitely a good idea to research an area that you're going to. Just not San Diego. No, I'm just kidding.
And even if you come to the training, you could be like me, Shiny Jet Amarillo. Once you, I think that we'll save that for tomorrow. Sorry. I was getting off topic, but
little topic, but yeah. So I basically I went through some struggles in life early and had to overcome them, and a couple of years ago, and took all the negative energy that was just like in my life and just funneled it right back into my business, and I just started hammering content, teaching people, just educating people.
You did some day trading for a little bit, right?
Yeah. I sold my business and started doing that, but because of what was going on in my life, I wasn't in a mental place that I could day trade. You have to be a machine. mentally, and I was not able to be that.
And that was actually going to be my next question, was like, from being a equipment operator and then transitioning into a business owner, what did that mean for you from like a time commitment, a physical commitment, a emotional commitment? Like, how did your life change once you transitioned into being a business owner? And I think you even you sold your first business that you built for aircraft detailing, and now this is the second business that you're building. So maybe go there.
Well, yeah, I just got, I learned this from my dad. So my dad is a world champion taxidermist, a world champion wooden fish carver. He's the only living person inducted to the World Taxidermy Hall of Fame. And he is extremely fanatical. He can tell you how many like bones are in a brown trout's tail. And you can have a black and white picture of a trout, and he can tell you which one it is. It doesn't matter about the colors. He can look at the fins and tell you exactly what kind of fish that is. I can pull a fish up from 1,000 feet at the bottom of the ocean and never seen it before. And my old man's like, oh yeah, that's this, this, and this, you know? He's extremely fanatical.
Your dad is super exceptional, not only in his knowledge, but he has a pretty wide variety of skill sets that he's pretty exceptional at.
Yeah. So I applied that. I've been applying those tactics to Shiny Jets. Basically,
you just watch that. He's always been that for you, right? So you watched that growing up. You kind of watched his habits. You watched his.
But I didn't
discipline.
get it. I didn't get it.
I know we never get it. I mean, we don't get it, but now you get it.
Yeah.
Now you look back and you're like, wow, that's what it took.
Yeah, that's what it took. You know. So just being fanatical. So. I've been fanatical with learning about aircraft detailing, refining processes, making processes easier with the same results, finding chemicals that produce exceptional results with, less effort, minimal effort, and refining processes so that they're not so complicated. Instead of having 50 chemicals, you can drop down to 5 or 8, you know? Some of these people, they have too much stuff and they don't even know what the heck they're doing, you know? Mm-hmm. And they can't, what's the word I'm looking for? They can't teach it. They can't teach their guys. They can't,
transfer the knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's hard for them to teach their employees or whoever. And that's kind of, I've just become extremely fanatical about aircraft detailing.
And it's hard to extract like what each one of those situations meant for you personally, but you obviously started your life cruising along. You had different ambitions. You realized different things, and you're doing exceptionally well here in the aircraft space. And one of the things that I think is great is just how, not only are you doing that, you have your own business, but you're teaching classes as well. And so, what's your motivation for wanting
teaching.
To teach, and by doing so, how is that changing your current role in your business? What's that look like?
Yeah. So there's 3 reasons why I wanted to start teaching. Number 1 was the industry's been so well to me that I was like, I got to give back, and I got to roll back to my dad. I grew up, I would be watching TV and my dad would be at the kitchen table, with the pigtail phone cord talking to some guy in Minnesota about carving a perch for an hour and a half, you know what I mean? And tell him how to do that for free. And, he was just passionate about it. And so it has given to me and my kids so much aviation detailing that I feel like others definitely deserve, to have that opportunity. Number 2, I would say that there's no information out there. When I first started aircraft detailing, there was nothing out there. So there's so many gray areas. People could get into trouble with detailing aircraft, and I don't want that to happen. Number 3 is safety. I think, I can bring a level of safety to aircraft and then help them stay looking good and flying shiny a lot longer. So I would sum up those 3 why I started training.
Yeah, and I mean the number 2 validates number 1. It's because a lack of information is why people even have to ask you questions in the first place.
Yeah.
And so I know I was in that same boat whenever I started detailing. You can only search out on your own so much information, especially in a detailed field or a trade craft type of field. And I don't know, at least for me, and I feel like I'm a pretty decent researcher, I just didn't find the answers to the questions that I had. And it wasn't that I didn't try the different products and processes and machines, and it was just a lack of knowledge in the processor. Like, you have a problem, you have tools to solve the problem, and each tool does a specific job.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like shooting from the hip, trying to figure out, an answer that I didn't even know how to get to. So by figuring that out, I paid for training. So by paying for detailed training, that changed my business.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that I paid, I have a lot of respect for him. He's a good dude. But he's nothing like you and me. He's very successful, but he's nothing like you and me. He has no aspiration to train or any of that stuff. Like, I basically begged him for weeks to come out and train me just because I watched him on Instagram and I appreciated his work. And I'm like, man, this dude seems like he has it together, not only on the ability to complete the work, but as well as the steps, the effort, the discipline it takes to build a successful business, because I was watching what he had done on social media. And so I'm like, man, this is the guy that I want to train me. And this was, maybe 5 years ago. There wasn't a lot of options as far as, not
Higher
only
end.
was there not a lot of options to get the information in general, but even furthermore, there wasn't a lot of training options. And most of the guys that have been doing this type of work, rejuvenation, restoration, protection for anything, auto, marine, or even aircraft, the tools and the practices are dated. Okay, so like if you walk into a body shop right now and you go back there, they use 3M. It's a black, white, blue system. The pad matches the polish.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Any mother effing body shop you go into.
Same.
I got money down that if you go into 4 out of 5 are running this system. Okay, but it's outdated technology. And I try to ask the people questions like, do you watch a tube television? It's not that the TV is not capable. It's not that you can't accomplish the same thing. It's not that you can't view it, but it's just not modern technology. And so there's a lot of these things, tools, practices, and especially business practices that will take you to the next level. And so that's why I chose the dude I did. And by having him spend a couple days with me, it answered all the questions that I had as far as technical skills were concerned. And I was able to take that information and dial in my skills and really get better at my craft. And from that, I started doing some of the things that you're exceptional at. So creating content, making awareness, it doesn't matter how good you are or how good you make it look. If nobody knows who you are, you can't have anybody to work for. You don't have any business. And so I started doing content creation and marketing and organic marketing. There's all these kind of creative things that you can do to find your target market. Anyway, the transition, like I was saying, it was lack of info, right? So you got to get training. Whenever you go to get training, there's a lack of information. Furthermore, of a lack of information, there's a lack of qualified people to teach you. Just like resources available. Not that there's not plenty of people that are capable. They just, like they're running businesses. They're not out there teaching people how to do that. And so for me, and as far as I know for you, that's been one of the main motivations for wanting to teach classes, of just being like, man, there's so many guys out there that are just like me that don't necessarily care for a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, or that have higher ambitions and just like want to have and create and do more than they've always done. And they have these like burning desires, and owning your own business is truly a gateway to the opportunity for yourself to like segue into becoming and being that person. And I don't know about you, like I just didn't like working for somebody else. So like I had these driving passions, and these were the exact same things that led you to this place. It was just like lack of information, lack of training, and then bringing, you said safety. It's not quite as big a concern in the auto industry for safety, but bringing a high quality of work and an attention to detail and an attention to the process, and having the process be the most efficient and effective process in the least amount of time, delivering the best result with the best products that have worldwide brand recognition. And so there's all these things that you want to consider as a business owner that align with your own goals, just being the biggest, the best, the greatest, the most knowledgeable. There's something to be said about pursuing to be top tier, AAA, number one. You're not trying to half-ass it. You're not trying to be a fly-by-night. You're not trying to just get through and take people's money. No. You actually care about the people doing the work, the people involved in the industry, and you want to give back to that. And I know if it's probably like you, it is like it is for me, and it is, because you said you just wanted something better. Like your whole life, you felt like your teachers and everything telling you that you couldn't do what you wanted to do. People suppress you. Like
I was only supposed to make $30,000 a year because I didn't get a college degree. So I was told in high school I was only going to make $30,000 a year.
Well, when I graduated college, my first job paid me $40,000 a year. And, like you're supposed to get excited about that but whenever you make $40,000 a year, and that's about what a cop makes, that's about what a teacher makes. And overall, that's a semi-exceptional income, probably really above the absolutely. National income wages. And so, like you're programmed to look at that and think that that's okay, and that you're doing okay based on your own life goal, like your life map, like where you're going, what you're doing. But
that's comparing yourself to someone too.
Yeah, but these people were suppressing me, and I'm just like, man, I got to do something different. I got to be bigger. I got to be better. I got to be the best. I got to be exceptional. And once, like, not to say that I am the culmination of any of those things, but I've met a lot of people, and I've learned a lot, and I want to pass that back to guys, and I don't want them to have to spend so much time and energy getting to the place that I got. Mm-hmm. I want to help them get there faster so that they can make a better life for themselves, so they can earn more money, so that they know they don't have to make all the mistakes that I made,
Yeah, no, and I see people that come to my training that are smarter than me, more educated. I'm like, man, come on, man, you can do this. It's crazy. But I'm going to go back to kind of what you were saying. So I ran a business. My first company, it was a good business. I had 3 guys. We were cleaning aircraft at 4 or 5 airports, and we were doing good. I ran a business, but my detailing wasn't like it is now. Back then, there was nothing out there.
Well, it's not because you didn't care. It's because you didn't know.
I didn't know. Exactly. But it took me years and years and years to even get to that point where I was creating good results and going toe to toe with some of the work that I'd seen, some of the good work I've seen. It took me years, to figure it out. but all while running a business. So that's where that's where training is going to come in and help you navigate and expedite that process. I had my other business for 8-9 years, and I wouldn't say I was producing good work till solid work till probably 7 years. Honestly, just strictly aircraft for 8-9 years, and
there's something else to be said about the ironic, how literal it is in the fact that you probably didn't have any dissatisfied clients.
No, I didn't because.
But you are exceptionally better in a way that will save your clients money.
Yep.
Build better relationships, give better results. So there's, it's if you're the type of person that wants to own their own business and be a self-made man and chase their own goals and really achieve for themselves, lack of knowledge is the only thing that's going to keep you from doing your best, right?
Yeah.
So back then you were doing your best and you learned 10 times more, and now you're still doing your best, and everybody's been happy all the way along the way.
All the way. So. Yeah. I got customers come back from years ago. So I wanted to hop into kind of about Shiny Jets and creating content and helping, showing some tips and tricks and here and there and whatnot, and sharing some of my knowledge and online for free to the public. Mm-hmm. And I do that to educate people, to educate mechanics, pilots, because when I was talking to mechanics, they don't know about detailing, they don't know about cosmetics. They're just looking at it from they don't know, they're not taught that. The pilots aren't taught that either.
That goes back to we had detailing careers. I'm sorry, these microphones are so sensitive. I feel like something just exploded in my ear. So going back into that, we thought we were doing exceptional in the beginning. I think you should turn it back up just so that you have a consistent result.
No, that was just
throughout.
That was just for your.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think for mechanics, it doesn't mean they're a bad mechanic because they don't know. That goes back to that lack of knowledge, right? So there's all these people, you and me included, trying to be our very best at something, and we're giving it all the effort. We just lack a little knowledge, and that knowledge, not only in the things we've talked about, like going through divorce and going from working from a corporate to opening your own company, and going from selling a company to opening another company, and then going from a company to starting training. There's all the, you don't know. There's uncharted territory.
Yeah.
And so no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, you can give context to the fact that there's something that you're dealing with, there's something you're struggling with, there's something you want to be. You can fill in the blank here. What it's going to take is you just don't know right now. But if you put in the time and the effort and the energy to find the knowledge, to chase down the people that know, and then put the time in to grow and really chase those dreams that you want to have, that's what's going to make you exceptional. That's what we're trying to provide.
Yeah, and just even the start of the trainings was a 1.5 year culmination of thinking, sleepless nights, thinking. How the heck do I do that? What do I do? Who the heck? What the, and a lot of that was probably holding me up, and we beat ourselves up, and that definitely was a big learning lesson for me, to not hold back and just go. Don't think about it. Don't think about it too much. Just hammer it, And
I have 100 ideas like that, but it's got to, going back to your story, you were operating equipment, you started detailing, and then you slowly transitioned into that role. And so just because you can't quit your job today and start pursuing your passion to be a detailer tomorrow doesn't mean that that's not a possibility for you. Every type of change, everything that you want to accomplish is going to require transition. And so just like Brett, you're going to have to go through and spend some time doing one thing while you learn another. until that thing is basically costing you more time not to be doing it. That's whenever you quit your job and you move on to being an entrepreneur.
I hated my job so much that I just would detail after work. It didn't matter how long it took me, if it was after dark, if I was dead tired. I just hated my job and I needed to get out. And it took me 8 months. Like, I just really wanted it. I just was like, I can't see myself. I looked at the people that had my job and then had been in my job for longer than me. And I was like, that's going to be me in 20 years. This is true. Mm-hmm. No matter what you do or how smart you think you are.
How once you, and not arrogantly, but once you start to achieve and attain these goals, how you just have bigger, better goals.
Yeah.
And go away, like it's not something that you're like, oh yeah, this ended it for me. That was good enough. No, like the more the more that you're able to complete and
look
and
further.
Learn. Yeah. Like the more excited you are about new opportunities.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. So, what's that?
How long have we been going
this?
here?
What's this? It's the hangar door opening. So we have started an Ask Brett segment, which is brought to you by Infinite Sky Channel, the global lifestyle hub dedicated to the celebration of independent spirit of flight, aviation, and aerospace. All right, let me pull up the question. All right, so our question today is from Devin White from Clean Wings LLC. He asks, do you normally drape your aircraft during bright work session? So what he means is do you normally drape the wing, cover the wing so that the metal polish does not get on the wing while you're polishing the bright work on the leading edge? And my answer is no, I don't, because I control how much polish I put on. I'll clean my pads out so they're not flinging wool everywhere. And then we run at a lot slower speeds. I run at slow speeds. Slow speeds are definitely key in polishing bright work, especially on aircraft. We're not
slower is faster.
Slower is faster.
Smaller is faster.
Slower is faster. So I heard that in a movie. It's called Dust to Glory. It's about the Baja 1000 race, and when they're at the pits, when the trucks pull into the pits at the Baja races, they say slower is faster. So be very precise with what you're doing and focus on it and get it done. So don't rush. So I've always held that with my business and in detailing in itself. Slower is faster. You're not going to make that aircraft miss its flight.
Yeah, and there's ways to work around that process. Once you become more proficient and efficient with the tools, the machine, the liquid, to where you're able to complete the task without having to drape the aircraft is the biggest answer to that question, right? So you can still complete the job without having to create extra work for yourself. Now, initially, you may need to do that in order to maintain residue control or whatever it may be, but essentially, you're just trying to find the fastest, most effective, most proficient way to get something done, and draping the aircraft is not required.
Yeah. So, quick reference for you. So, we just tape, but you'll hear detailers joking about when they're buffing that they have no compound, no polish because they got buffer control, and that's kind of the same thing. If you look clean after doing a polishing job, you're probably doing it right. You're probably doing it efficient. You're not using too much product and not flinging stuff everywhere. So there you have it.
But you don't know until you know.
Yeah, knowing is knowledge.
That's right.
And the hangar door is closing.
Did you know I have a hangar door on my gym that my detail shop is inside of. So that we have a 37,000 square foot facility. It's got a 40-yard turf field in the center of the building, and the back door of the building actually opens as a huge hydraulic hangar door to where we have an open air facility. So it's completely irrelevant, but we have a really cool hangar door in the back end of our detail shop, our gym and shop.
That's cool, because sometimes the hangars we work in I'm like scared of the hangar door. You could hear in that the effects on that. It was like it's the wire. It scares the heck out of me. Hangar doors always scare me. But
yeah, any potential of failure is a little bit scary if you over consider it.
Yeah. I definitely do. But well, yeah, I just want to kind of give you guys a little background and let you know what drives Shiny Jets, the brand, and we'll continually be pushing the envelope as far as safety, results, processes, and helping you guys with potential, other experts in the industry, not necessarily detailers, but basically experts in the industry that have given me insight or can help give you insight to the aviation detailing industry and detailing itself.
One thing I'm super excited about is just Brett is a dude who's completely passionate about his work. He's very involved in the success of the people that he involves himself with, especially people who come to the classes and the trainings. And I know that his passion for this podcast and the content moving forward is to speak with people who have learned everything the hard way, and they've had their failures, and they've come from nothing and arrived at something. And he has a special way of just like tracking those people down and generating a relationship that at the end all is going to bring you all information that's going to make you better, more successful. And it doesn't matter if you're in the aircraft industry or not. Like all these principles transfer into no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at, no matter what you want to achieve. There's some simple life practices, disciplines, habits, and ways of going about things that are going to help you be ultimately more successful than if you didn't know or seek them out or have them at your disposal. And so I know that Brett wants to do that for you guys. I'm humbled and blessed to be a part of it, and I'm super excited to see where we're at in a year from now. If you think back, I just asked Brett earlier tonight, like, when was that first class that we did out at Threshold Aviation in Chino Hills, California? And it was in May of 2019. And I think there's been at least 7 classes, 6 or 7 classes since then.
Yeah.
Like he said earlier in the podcast, I've only missed one, but I love being here. I love being a part of it. And I'm not really, I'm definitely not an expert as far as what Brett teaches. I take away, no matter how many times I sit through his class, and like I'm fortunate to get to sit through it many times, I take away something every single time, and I'm here and present and active every single time. But there's so much content, there's so much information, there's so many ways that the content, the people he's involved with, they're going to add value to everything that you're doing, that there's absolutely no reason that you shouldn't hit the motherfucking subscribe button right now and make sure that there's no more episodes that you don't hear. And this is number 1, and man, I know it's going big places from here, dude. Like, I'm so excited to have been a part of it from...
But I'll tell you what, I appreciate the craziest plug I ever heard. That was awesome. This podcast is not going to be about my training, for sure. It's not, but it's great. Mm-hmm. I just want to be able to relate to people and, give back to the industry. And, I started Shiny Jets from humble beginnings, from driving a Kia and doing Uber.
Kia. Kia Optima, bro.
Yeah, I think that's what, I don't remember what mine was.
I wasn't proud to drive it, but I was gosh dang happy to have it.
Yeah, that's what I was. And I had a detail keg in the back, and I was doing Gulfstreams.
Making it happen.
Yeah, and I was renting a room, had a Kia, doing Uber after work and on the weekends just so that I could get gas to go to work and detail aircraft and make content. So I still don't really make money off my content, you know.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, we may make a little bit of money on our trainings, but our training is for our time. And if we're giving you our time, then it's taking away from a revenue generating opportunity. And that's not something we're saying like, oh, we take time out of our schedule to train. No, like, we're passionate about this. We're passionate about your success. And that's the reason we're sitting here talking to you, talking to each other right now, is because we care. The only way that we may be able to turn a profit for our time that we invest into the people that we want to have success, the same way that we've had success is through little things like this. But we don't do it for the money. We do it because it's fun. We do it because we want to help people. Like, if it ends up making money, this is something that we do in our side time when our full-time hustle is killing it.
It's 9:30 at night on a Monday.
Yep.
I woke up at 5 a.m. to go work on a King Air and buff it out all day. Mm-hmm. With the rotary, I was fighting the rotary all day, beating that thing for 8 hours. So and here we are. So just so you know, we're all about this aircraft detailing. I eat, sleep, and breathe aircraft detailing. And
I guess fortunate for me, like, I'm here out in California right now, so Brett got his podcast equipment in, and so tomorrow I know that we're gonna do a little bit more in-depth conversation covering some of the topics that we skimmed over tonight, just like disciplines, practices, really proficiency tools. We're going to dive in, and so I'm excited to get to chat through stuff like that with Brett tomorrow. I don't know when you'll hear it. We're doing double podcast, which if you ever do create content, you'll realize that you create it and then release it in some other
when you get a
systematic routines. So we're here just trying to make as much of the time that we have together so that it's valuable to you guys. And so we definitely encourage your engagement. We want you to follow us. We want you to comment. We want you to ask your questions. We want to help you as much as possible. And Brett's definitely going to be leading and pioneering this charge, especially on this front. But I'm definitely somebody you can look up, send a message to, and ask a question, get an answer anytime you want it.
So Travis, where can we find you?
Travis Mcnutt, the Paint Slayer Detailing Company, CA Auto Spa, Ceramic Pro Amarillo. What we call that is a virtual footprint, and I got a big one.
Yeah. At Shiny Jets Amarillo?
Shiny Jets Amarillo. Dang it.
You've been detailing planes too.
I know, and I actually have been getting jobs over the last year, which has been dope. You know, like, just being friends with Brett has made me at least $15,000 this year, so I'm excited about that. And actually more than that. You know, so
you're happy.
Get on the team.
Yeah, get on the team, the money team.
That's right.
All right, guys. Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at shiny_jets_official, shiny_jets_university. And you can find us on YouTube at Shiny Jets, Facebook, Shiny Jets Official, the same as the Instagram. And I think that's the only social platforms I'm on. Yeah, that would be it. So
the next best thing would be looking out for the next episode.
Yeah, look out for the next episode.
And please, guys, like, the interaction, the community. That's what makes this real. That's what makes this deep. If you guys don't send us questions, you don't talk to us, you don't engage with us, we're not able to fully
help you.
Yeah, And like everything that you add to our conversation is so beneficial to everybody else listening. So please, like, don't reserve anything. Get involved. Give us your input. Come to a class. Meet us. Like, we would love to absolutely engage and do life with you from here moving on, man.
Yeah, and give us ideas for content too. You know, give us ideas for content.
We like making both fun and ridiculous content. So if you have something stupid, we may even be apt to do that.
We will spend money to do that.
Yeah. We're like, oh, that's such a good idea.
I'm not going out to dinner all month.
Bravo. And if you don't get the reference, go to Instagram, Shiny Jets Official.
Oh, and then, guys, please leave us a review on the podcast. I know it's the first one, but we need reviews. Just tell us how this is the best podcast in the world. It's your favorite podcast.
Share it with a friend.
Tag us. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Instagram. Share. That's all we ask. Definitely gives us motivation. And
we're not sharing just to share. We're sharing because we want to grow our community and grow the group of people that we have influence, and hopefully in a positive influence.
Well, yeah. I mean, the more you guys share, the more you guys give us good reviews and stuff. We can get more influential people on the podcast in the industry, and yeah.
Who do you want to see? Who do you want to talk to? Who do you want to have interviewed?
And what topics do you want?
Yeah, like seriously. Bring it to the table, and I'm sure Brett can go to work to make it happen.
Yeah, we'll handle it. All right, you guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
If you're not right, you're left.
Yeah, and fly shiny.